that's what you get for getting your hopes up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Don't Get Your Hopes Up as exhibited.
That is a kazoo, isn't that right? Like it's
no, that's just my face. It's a kazoo.
Okay.
No, that's a kazoo.
Where did you get a kazoo? Like where as an adult do you stumble across a kazoo?
So my WoW guild, who has basically at this point just graduated into a bunch of online friends because most of them don't even play WoW anymore.
Right.
Because we've been together for like 9 years, something like that. But anyway, God, no, it's going to be almost 10 years now. We're going to have the 10-year anniversary really soon of the guild, let alone it was a guild that was created by a bunch of people who already knew each other. Anyway, So every year we have a Secret Santa Christmas thing, and so we all get on like a Google Hangout and send packages to each other. We send the packages first. We don't get on the Hangout and then send the packages. And 1 year I got a kazoo.
Okay.
Among other things, I got a kazoo. I got a bag full of stickers that were my eyes, so I could stick my eyes onto things. I got
up your own eyes.
Yeah, I got
fuck?
a. This is my guild. I got a little like illustration, which I've since framed, which has a piece of steak, and under it says "Just the tri-tip," and that's pretty cool. Last year, I got a box full of mostly beers, but also a VHS of the joys of haircutting.
What? Wow. It's a thing. Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I got a kazoo.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you are, I mean, I'm actually kind of interested in why you are knackered, as we already mentioned today.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, we'll get to that. Okay.
We can get to that in 5 seconds if you want. I'm just saying this will happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should mention that we're on Google Play.
Yes!
Apparently.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I learned this 5 minutes ago.
It was, it took like 2 clicks or something. People were asking like, oh yeah, you're on Google Play? I was like, I haven't looked into that yet. I will. And then, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was, I'm not sure. But he like just basically was like, here's a link, here's the instructions, I fit them in a tweet. Like, when somebody could fit, when the instructions are actually long enough to fit in a tweet, then you really don't have an excuse not to go do whatever that thing is, right?
You say that, but I've seen people tweeting StarCraft build orders.
So yeah, it's it's there, and cool. I'll add it to the list of links to where to find our stuff. So now we don't look so iTunes biased, even though we're on feed burners, we're on everything.
Yeah.
And now we're on Google Play. Whoop whoop whoop. And that's it. That's.
I like that the description. It seems to have been copy and pasted, but I like that the description just says, "Mike B, aka Fony, Josh, aka Lore Show about video game related things. Don't get your hopes up."
That's what it says?
Yeah. It's like just one long run-on sentence, and then don't get your hopes up.
Did a bot make that? Oh my god, it's not even trying. People are going to think like, oh, like who's this Mike B guy with all these weird names? Like Mike B, a.k.a.
Mike B,
Fony
a.k.a. Josh, a.k.a. Lore Show. Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up. God damn it. I tried, all right? I tried.
No, it's perfect. It's completely fitting of this shitty show that we do. So yeah. So speaking of things.
Yes.
Didn't Overwatch come out? I'm pretty sure Overwatch came out.
It did.
Yeah. And there was a whole bunch of launch celebrations.
The celebrations.
Celebrations.
It's something I wish I could have done while I was at the actual celebration event. And
so
celebrate myself back to my house.
You went to the like Coke esports thing, right?
I did. It was.
I heard. What I heard was what we like to call in the industry mixed. Yeah, sentiment was mixed.
Mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, for disclosure, I had nothing to do with that event, but I do know a couple of the people that were behind it, and I know they put a lot of work into it. I don't know where the ball was dropped on it, because a lot of it was kind of weird. Like apparently there was something like, and here's the first look at this, what was it, like the Hanzo and Genji video or something?
Yep.
But oh no, it was the Soldier 76 video.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's what it was. Yep,
but like that one had come out on YouTube that morning.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It was obviously something that was not supposed to be what it was. I'll put it that way.
It was, so I had actually refrained from seeing the Hanzo Genji one, because, and I think another one, I can't remember. I think that was the only one. But I did it on purpose because I wanted to, see it on the big screen. It was going to happen. So I guess I got a little bit more out of it, because I had not seen that one, and obviously I didn't watch the Soldier 76 one. They were great. Like the cinematics were fantastic. It just sucked that it wasn't exclusive. It sucked, or world first or whatever premiere. When we arrived, the three of us went, and we were in line, and they had two different gifts you could get, right, or two different like swag things, and they talk about, exclusive swag. One was the stupid beater things that you blow up and you beat against each other like an asshole, right? You know, talking about the little balloon dildo things that you just fucking whap together.
Oh yeah, the Thundersticks.
Thundersticks, yes. Oh my god, I hate those things.
I don't know. I don't know what led to those being at a cinematic event.
It's okay. They didn't even say Overwatch on them, so I don't know why they were given out.
Okay.
And actually, I only heard that through somebody else, that they didn't say Overwatch on them, because they ran out before we got to the front to get our own.
Weird.
And then we got our cups though. The cups that were like they felt like you could tell they tried to make it seem like it was reusable, right, or something you could, but it's like, if you throw that thing into the dishwasher, like it is done.
Yeah,
done.
I just got one today, because there was a bunch of extras. Surprise!
Of course it was.
And I got it, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's better than the Taco Bell cups that we also like. They've just been we've been showered in Overwatch cups over the past couple of months at work, because I've been like, hey, everybody, here's a bunch of Taco Bell cups, because isn't it cool it's on Taco Bell? And it's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of cool, but I didn't want these.
Yeah. So at least the build quality is pretty
the build quality is it's more substantial than what you would expect to just get at a movie theater. And so like if you were to just be like, hey, I'm going to go to this event. Oh, cool, a cup. Wow, this is actually kind of a nice cup. That's pretty cool. I'll throw it away in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I'll leave it out like I'm going to keep it and then realize I don't want it and throw it away.
Yeah. But as like it's not enough to be like this is a cool reason to be at this thing.
Yeah. The actual show itself, so we go in and we sit down, and they hand out a bunch of raffle tickets when you first sign up, right? When you first go in, and we're seated. And once everybody gets there, before they start the show, the guys come in, and you could tell they didn't want to be there, right? Like they were like, it's Sunday night, we don't want to fucking be here, and they're like, hey, so we're just gonna do the raffle now, since you guys are all here. So and he reaches in, he grabs it, and it was like the dude who like just came and sat down. Like, he was sitting right at the front, and like he's like, oh, there's a number, and it's the guy like right in front of him, because he was saying at the very front of the theater, right? And it was like, oh my god. So then
you're like, well, did they even shake this up, or did they just grab whatever the top ticket was in the box?
Like that didn't even cross my mind at first. At first it was like the guy doesn't even give a shit that he won one. He stood up and he's like, oh, okay, I got one, cool, thanks. And he went and sat down, like it was like no big deal. And then later when I was checking Reddit, everyone was like, why is it that they didn't even bother shaking it up? Like they were just picking off the top, and like everybody was reporting that it was like the last guy to get there was getting the goddamn thing.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And then the actual cinematics themselves. We're watching the cinematics, and it's like I would say the lights dim, but they forgot to dim the lights for the first half of the first cinematic. So we were watching it, and it's like Blizzard, and then it plays a cinematic, and I was like, ooh. And then right in the middle, like the lights finally shut off, and then at the end, it says, it's like Overwatch, and then it says beta coming 2015. We're like, wait a minute, what? That's kind of weird. It's kind of funny they left that on there, and they play another one, and it's like, and it makes someone, then it puts a date on it. It's like, release whatever 2016. And I'm like, they didn't even cut the shit off. Like, they didn't even like edit the videos to make them flow better. They just kept all this shit. I'm surprised, and I even said this. I was like, I'm surprised we didn't get like, an ad, a pre-roll ad or something. Like, kind of like it was just streamed right from YouTube, because that's what it fucking felt like. It didn't seem like it was like, high resolution quality replays. It was just that. And then the actual sit down itself with Michelle Morrow and like 5 devs, I think. Well, I say devs, but basically a couple guys behind the scenes there. And the first thing I noticed, which is totally inconsequential to anything, but they all pretty much had the same exact like basic outfit on. Most of them. They definitely all had the same exact shoes. So I don't know if you guys at Blizzard like hand out shoes or something, but like they all had the same like leather shoes, and I was like, holy shit, that's really weird.
We don't talk about the shoes.
Oh, okay. Like 25% of the entire Q&A was focused around whether or not the stupid ass kids in the first cinematic, like the very first cinematic, are ever gonna come back. And everyone's sitting there like, no one gives a shit about these kids. They were there as a vehicle. Like, they were just there, like, to kind of move the story. And it was great. Like, they were perfect for that. No one gives a shit about these kids. Are they going to come back later and be, like, a team or something like that? Like, some weird, like, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. So yeah, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff was interesting. It was like, okay, yeah, cool. So that's what they thought when they were making these things. They put thought into it. That's basically what I got from it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, world premiere, this thing that you saw this morning.
Yeah,
everyone's like grown.
I think because and maybe this is part of the problem too, because Overwatch has had just ridiculously like on point marketing for 99% of its stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have been impressed with the stuff that the marketing team and the Overwatch community team and so on have been coming up with. Like it's really like the giant action figures. When I first heard about those, I'm like, well, that's gonna be weird. But then they were actually pretty cool. So I was like, all right, well, fair play. And like the Taco Bell promotion, like even though whatever Taco Bell, like that's still, for people that like numbers like me, that's a pretty big deal. Like a lot of people saw it and were exposed to the game because of that.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of people in the correct audience, I should add, were exposed. Like if we'd gone to like, I don't know, Olive Garden or something and had a promotion with Olive Garden.
Sweet tomatoes brings you Overwatch.
Yeah. Overlap there, maybe not quite as good, but something like Taco Bell, like that's the that hits the, at least especially the console gamer demographic pretty well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what happened with the Coke thing, because like I said, I know some of the people that were involved in it, and I know that Coke kind of from what I understand, I think, I don't want to like throw Coke under the bus, but I think they kind of set up a big part of it.
I could see it because they come to the event, they see it as an opportunity to promote, Coke and get people into theaters.
Yeah, and like the biggest reason I say that maybe that's what happened is just because one of the people behind it is actually a really good friend of ours. Like she watches my cats when I'm AFK in England for ages.
Right.
And like she's legit. Like she knows her stuff. So it's like hearing about these sort of weird issues. I'm like, what? How? What? How? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So thank God the game is so good.
Yeah.
Because I would have never let that fucking cup thing go down. It would have been the champion of everything. For my criticism for the game. Thank God the game was great. You played it, right?
Overwatch? I was thinking about giving it a try. No, yeah, like, God, the game is so good. Like every so often I just get super busy, or I'll pick up another game and I don't play Overwatch for a little while, and then like at work during lunch break or something, somebody will be like, "Hey, you want to play Overwatch?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play Overwatch." And then I'm like, "Fucking murder everything, bro!" And it's just a really really good game.
Yeah, it's it actually ends up, I mean, it's got its quirks, of course, like things that thankfully bounce patches will fix. And it's funny.
Oh, here we go.
Seeing the
what's unbalanced now? Are we over Bastion yet? Have we gotten past
and
the point?
that was the point I was gonna make. It's like it's funny to seeing, and we knew this was happening because we saw it happen in beta.
Like
it's
five times, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Every single time, Bastion's OP, Bastion's OP, Bastion's OP. It's like, well, no, you have to figure out how to do whatever.
And then it's Bastion sucks. Bastion sucks. Why are you playing Bastion?
Yeah, exactly. Right now it's McCree's fan of whatever, and then roll and then fan again, being able to basically one shot like tanks. Like that's a bit extreme. It feels like it's a bit extreme right now, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a bunch of little things that are popping up as the meta matures. But as these things happen, people will find ways to like counter it, or maybe people will look at a McCree and be like, "Hey, we should focus fire that guy because he does damage just as much as you would focus fire a healer," which nobody fucking does. So maybe it won't happen. But a balance patch. And that's the thing. A lot of games come out and it's like a balance patch is going to fix this.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the
end. Definitely. Like everything that is a potential issue with Overwatch, and I say potential issue because it's really hard to tell, and a lot of times it's just going to be that at like the low skill levels Bastion's really good, but at the high skill levels he's not, and at the low skill levels McCree is really good, but at high skill levels he just gets focused down and he's useless. Like those are the sorts of, and most of the time the reason that people feel that hero, just what I've seen from the 5 or 6 times now that I've been through the Overwatch is out, everybody let's learn how to play the game for a little while, and just watching what happens. Most of the time when someone is considered overpowered, what is really going on is that no one's playing their counter, or no one's figured out what their counter is yet. Yeah. So like Bastion at first was, oh my god, Bastion, he's so stupid overpowered, and then people realized Genji exists. And then it's like, okay, well, if they have a Bastion, someone go Genji, now we win. Sort of thing. Because there is no Bastion at those sorts of, in most skill levels, there's no Bastion who is able to stop shooting as soon as Genji activates his reflect. And then McCree is the sort where it's like, okay, yeah, he can do the flashbang, fan the hammer, charge, fan the hammer sort of thing. But Reinhardt counters that pretty well. And just never being alone when there's a McCree around also counters that pretty well. Because if there's 2 people there, he can't kill both of you, and then he dies.
And then he pretty much already blew his wad. So you basically look at a McCree that needs to. And also, McCrees typically blow their concussion grenade at the same time, or their stun at the same time. So it's like stun, fan, roll, fan, and then whatever that target is usually dead. But then you're basically sitting there with no cooldowns, and you're reloading in front of whoever else is standing there with you. No, it makes sense. And this is all stuff that's going to happen as the meta matures. Next week, it's going to be something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually, it'll settle, and we'll figure out exactly what it is.
It's going to take time.
The ranked patch, or the ranked update, or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea when that's, like, supposed to come along. But
word is June.
Cool. June is now. It's been June for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I have to pay rent. All right. I'm going to do that.
Drop everything.
Yeah. All right. So while we continue this show, I'm going to pay rent. It just takes time for a meta to mature in a game like this. And it's easy to, when it first comes out, go, oh, this is overpowered. Oh, my God. And then, like, 2 weeks later, you don't remember why you thought that guy was overpowered.
Yeah. Yep. It'll happen. That's why we do shows like this, so we can look back and say, "Oh yeah, that's why."
Yeah. Remember that time that we thought that was good.
But no, I mean, it's such a good game, and it's hard to really kind of leverage critiques against it because a lot of the critiques can be fixed in balance patches. And that's the hard part. Like again, like a lot of games get released, and you know their mechanics are so far gone and so like left field. It's like you're not going to bounce patches out. This is a rework, you know, and that's a completely different thing. And so right now I feel like every hero has its ups and downs. They all have their counters and they all have their strong points, of course. You know, outside of fine tuning, like I feel like Blizzard has done a pretty good job of releasing a pretty good game. There's a couple quirks too, man. Like it's like really weird issues that pop up that I hope can get resolved. Like some of those like really weird like anomaly type things. Like if you're in group play for several matches, suddenly your frames get all fucking crazy. Like you'll just all of a sudden like experience slowdowns and stuff towards like an end of a match or towards whatever. But then when you watch a replay, you go spectator. Like you know when you die, you go spot spectator. Everything's fine, and it's like, well, that's kind of strange.
I haven't had that.
Yeah, a few people are reporting that's happening, and that's happening a lot, whatever that means. But hopefully, it's stuff like that gets like ironed out. But other than that, man, I don't know, man. It's a pretty good. It's hard to hate on it. It's like you know what? Maybe it's just not your game. Like that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, there's definitely like, and I feel like there's a lot of maybe the sort of COD bro sort of audience who want to be able to just kill everybody.
Yeah.
And that's something you kind of have to learn with Overwatch is you can escape from most people, or you can like gang up on most people, but as a given character, you will have a enemy character that they can swap to that probably kills you.
Yes.
Like
90%
90% of the time. And like that's why McCree is important for this is part of what I was going to say earlier is the reason that McCree works the way that he does is because if there wasn't a character like that, you'd just have tracers and Genjis everywhere shitting on everyone.
Yeah.
Because there needs to be someone that can just go, all right, hold the fuck still for a second.
We're done here. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. I gotta say, I do love that custom mode is so. There's so many things you could do. Custom mode is not just you know add a bunch of people and then choose a map to play on and choose your game mode or whatever. It's like it is. There's so many things you could do. You could create just absolutely wild gameplay types. Like we were playing the other day where we had what was it? It basically we made it so that our cooldowns were like 25%. Like so basically 75% reduction on cooldowns. 75% reduction or something like that on spawn, so you're basically always back in the fight. I think we made it so it's only one hero limit of one, and then we banned Zarya. Because Zarya could just basically keep everybody like, you know, shielded constantly. And yeah, it was just like, I mean, it was loads of crazy, like fast-paced fun. Obviously in balance when you had to ban an entire character. But yeah, still, it was just like there was the amount of flexibility you have in the custom mode matchmaking stuff is just is impressive for I can't even say for a Blizzard game because there's StarCraft 2 where you could just do whatever you want. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on Reddit the other day of people using that custom mode and like the reduction of the cooldown reduction thing with Genjis so that they would have like a bunch of Genjis and one Junkrat, and the Junkrat would just like shoot a bomb at or shoot like his entire clip of bombs at one of the Genjis, who would then reflect it at another Genji, and then they would just bounce it back and forth. And whoever fucked up their reflect first like just died instantly. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Genji can apparently reflect fucking anything.
I've not seen a Genji reflect the dragons yet. The Hanzo dragons.
It only so when Hanzo fires his dragon, there's a projectile that comes out for like a 1/10 of a second. Like he shoots an arrow and then the arrow turns into the dragon. Mm-hmm. So if you reflect that arrow, so you basically have to be right in his face and have you reflect up already when he ults. Then you can reflect the arrow. The arrow will turn around, and then the arrow will turn into the dragons.
Oh, that's it? Okay, sure.
Yeah. You can also, like, if you're standing right on a Soldier 76 when he goes to heal, because he apparently actually drops a thing on the ground, the thing that he drops, Genji can reflect and get himself a heal.
yeah. Genji's one of those characters that I watched a small clip. I think it was a play of the game or something like that. But it was a highly skilled Genji, and it was beautiful, man. Like it was like he was an actual fucking ninja. It was so good seeing him just cycle through his cooldowns and make use of terrain and just nailing everything. It looked amazing. Like, he's just wiping out team like it was no big deal.
Yep.
That's gonna be impressive. Like I look forward to more competitive play with Overwatch once people actually start getting good. Like watching the esports. What is it called? I forget.
Heroes Rising, Agents Rising.
Yeah, Agents Rising. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And watching Agents Rising, I was watching Cloud9, and it was like, Cloud9 had a good team, but it wasn't anywhere near the level of like what you'd expect from a pro player. You know, like, and obviously the game needs time to come out for people to kind of develop and everything, but still, like, Cloud9 was stomping everybody, man. Like, it was embarrassing how much they were just whooping everyone's ass, which is great because they're my team. But it was, but still, like, once that gameplay gets higher up, I mean, everyone watches CS:GO for a reason. Like, those guys are super, like, highly skilled, and the stuff they do is like shit that you dreamed that you could do.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is basically that same concept, except now you're incorporating like all these crazy abilities and all these crazy, very flashy things, and you're gonna see people just pull off some amazing combos and just multi kills and whatever.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get to the point where once the meta starts to get figured out, we're gonna see a lot more swapping happening, especially at the pro level, where it's like, okay, their healer is a Lucio, so we're going to go Mercy and Zenyatta, because that way we've got much stronger single target healing than Lucio has, so we're able to keep our one Roadhog / McCree or whatever alive, and so then their Lucio is going to get a Symmetra to go with him, and like people are going to it's going to be really interesting to see how that sort of evolves. There's so much about the game to figure out, and there's almost certainly something right now that's ridiculously fucking overpowered, and it's probably just something bizarre like Mercy healing and damage boosting a Widowmaker or something. Like that actually had to get nerfed back in the internal beta, because you would have a Mercy. It used to be that a Mercy
body
damage
shots
boosting
right?
Widowmaker. Yeah, it was body shots because Widowmaker, she charges up damage. You could just spam, and it would one-shot most characters. So they had to be like, all right, let's tone this down a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game is pretty fucking good. And if you're not playing it, you're wrong.
Yeah, and it's like, it's hard to say. Like, obviously, the first people kind of lean towards when they want to make comparison is Team Fortress 2, right? I played Team Fortress 2 and I liked it, but it didn't really pull me in. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, cool. And it could have been that, by the time I played the game, like, everyone already played it, everyone was super good at it. I did have a lot of fun playing it, but like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the characters. Like, I love the characters, but I just feel like there's more. I feel like the characters that Overwatch has is just a bit more accessible and a bit more playful and friendly. I feel like they're all very diverse. Where I feel like Team Fortress 2, these are a bunch of bros, right? Yeah. These are a bunch of dudes that hang out together, and like, if you relate to them, then great. Like, those are your guys, But they're all pretty much part of the same team. Where I feel like Overwatch is like, everybody is very, very different from different parts of the globe, and they all just have a very, very different style and a background. They don't really feel like they're all like, they wouldn't necessarily all hang out together.
Yeah. In fact, several of them are actively trying to kill each other, according to the story. So I think Overwatch is what Team Fortress 2 would be if the people that made Team Fortress 2 knew then what they know now, sort of thing, if that makes any sense.
And even then, TF2 was a game for its time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like, so a couple of the other things that, like, obviously the character design, I completely agree. The character design, you feel like, okay, I'm going to play Hanzo, and this is what Hanzo is like, and I'm going to be a badass Hanzo, and, like, you sort of get into that character a little bit. And then if you switch from Hanzo to somebody like Winston, it's like, okay, this is completely fucking different. This is a different game now. I have to think about this game entirely differently at that point. Whereas like Team Fortress 2, sure, there's some things that mix it up a bit, and if you're playing a sniper versus playing a scout, things are going to be different.
Yeah.
But not nearly as much as it doesn't swing nearly as widely as it does in Overwatch. And also even like there's different types of sniper characters, there's different types of heavy style characters, and so on.
And it's not a slight at all. TF2 is such a good game.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, TF2's been out for how long? Like, it's about time that
exactly.
there's something that comes out that is more
Yeah.
suitable to today's, just
Yeah.
something that's better in that, or more diverse. And that brings
something
new.
that's
different.
learned from TF2 and sort of evolved on
Absolutely.
what TF2 did. Yeah.
Yep.
I also think the smaller team size, because from memory, I haven't played TF2 in a while, but from memory, I think it's usually 10v10 in Team Fortress 2.
I can't remember.
Sometimes even like 15v15. I think 6v6 is a team size that just makes a lot more sense, because then you feel like you are contributing no matter what, and you feel like you have to work with your team. Whereas whenever I was playing Team Fortress 2, I felt like I had to get a couple of people on my team to tag along, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? So there was something else I was going to say.
Yeah.
That I think. Map design, I think, is also important. Just the way that the maps are laid out. Like the TF2 maps were designed with what people knew was the right way to design maps. 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that at this point. The way that maps are designed in Overwatch, it does a lot more to sort of make people be in the same areas, instead of in TF2 you can really get spread out.
Yeah, you
on
could.
some of the maps.
Yeah. No matter what you say, someone's going to be offended that we said something about TF2. So.
Also, TF2 is a pile of shit. And I hate everyone who played it.
Now I'm offended.
No, I played the shit out of TF2.
Oh, I know you have. Oh,
yeah. Anyway, so speaking of things I've devoted my entire life to, this is a straight segue. I haven't been doing very well in the really roundabout, convoluted segues lately. It's just been... So speaking of the next topic, so there's this little movie coming out. It's already out in a lot of countries. It's coming out.
The new Yogi Bear movie. With T.J. Miller.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I'm totally. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Actually, yeah.
So we have
T.J. Miller's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a premiere in Hollywood on Monday for the new Yogi Bear movie.
All right.
So the Warcraft movie, it comes out a week from today? No. A week from tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on Friday, it's a week from today.
Right.
It comes out on June 10th. But the Hollywood premiere, which is a lot of times people call it the red carpet. From what I'm told, the carpet hasn't actually been red in 20 years, but it's the whole hey, we're going to have a pre-showing of the movie, and we will have a bunch of people come by, and we'll have a bunch of stars, and there's going to have pictures taken with them, and then they'll get to see the movie, and that's cool. We're actually working with Legendary to put on a live broadcast directly from the actual carpet walk itself.
Oh man,
yeah, we're gonna have Jesse Cox and Michelle Morrow hosting it, and I'm stoked about that because I know they're gonna be great.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, when you're working with, I have a team of there's let me count. There's I think 10 people on the WoW community team now. And I have help from, we'll say 3.5 of them on organizing I'm kind of spearheading here's what the live broadcast is going to be, etc. And I have help from them, but I basically have a team of 3.5 people that is working on, from our end at least, putting this together. And then there's other
someone out there is
departments
only
that
doing half the work, man. Fired. Holy crap.
Well, no, it's more it's shared resources, whatever. And then there's also other departments at Blizzard that are contributing as well, like the events department and the video production department and everything. Lots of people working together. Our grand total, we have, I don't know, 20-ish people on our end working on this thing. Legendary has 100 because they're a movie studio, and because they have lots of resources available for this sort of thing. And so when they have 5 people to every one of ours to work on stuff, what happens is they go, okay, yeah, we'll figure that out on Friday, and then we'll get that sorted out in time for Monday morning. And we're like, but we don't have time. That means we're working all weekend. So there's been a whole lot of, okay, hey guys, like from Legendary, and nothing against Legendary at all, but there's been a whole lot of like, okay guys, here's the layout for the stage that you'll be on. We got that today. So like here's what things are going to be laid out like on that stage. And then they're like, well, this isn't final yet either. We're still deciding and so on. So it's like, I have to have all of this planned. I have to figure out where we're putting cameras.
You guys need to just calm down.
Yeah.
They've obviously done this before.
Well, that's the thing. No one has really done this before. That's what's really, really cool about this event is like once or twice before. I shouldn't say no one, but it's very, very rare to have any sort of live, especially internet broadcast directly from like the quote unquote red carpet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, E does it all the time, just like to TV, but obviously the format is a little bit different. But
yeah, like they don't have a show so much as they have we're here at the thing and we're walking around with a camera and just talking to people.
Yeah,
and that's usually how that format works is you'll have an anchor at a studio somewhere, and then when they can throw to the reporter who's actually at the thing, because none of this is really scheduled either. Like the VIPs all show up kind of when they show up.
Yeah,
like they've been told the movie's at this time, be there by then, so they just sort of show up when they can. And so we might end up with the entire cast all at the same time. And we're like, okay, talk about all these people. And then an hour of dead time around that. So trying to figure out how we're going to react to all of that.
This sounds a whole lot like trying to plan the live stream show from Wowhead parties when we used to do that.
Yep.
That was the same shit. It was like, let's try to get these, internet celebrities to all come in at a certain time because that will surely fucking happen.
Yeah. And then Felicia Day will show up and we'll just boot everybody off.
Oh god! And then that guy from Star Trek, D Space Nine, who was on like
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm still 100% confident it's gonna be good. It's just we're in that early, like what's gonna happen is the show will start and everything will click and we'll be fine.
Yes,
but up until that point, I'm just gonna be panicking the entire time, like, but what if one of the hosts gets something in their eye? Well, how do we deal with this?
These completely ridiculous, like inane things. It's like,
what if zombies?
Yeah. What if zombies? Just stop. Yes, exactly.
What if Duncan Jones decides he wants to take props off the stage with him? How do we
how do we tell him no?
How do we cover that? Like, how do we put a camera on this? Because that's entertaining. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been taking up my entire life over the past. Well, not my entire work day, and my work days have been kind of long.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
This is why I am in fucking whatever mode right now, because it's like I'm not at work anymore.
So DigiWho next week is actually kind of in limbo right now because that's going to be the eve of the launch.
So by then, I will not give a shit anymore. By then, I will have done everything, and I'll be like, right, we're gonna post some shit on Twitter. That's about it.
Nothing I say or do at this point will change anything. So fuck it.
Yeah, we have like Monday is the premiere thing, the movie premiere.
Yeah.
Tuesday we have like, well, there's a whole bunch of people in town for the movie premiere, so let's hang out and chat and such sort of thing.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we're gonna be lucky if anyone shows up to work.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Everyone's just gonna be like, "Hey, I caught polio. I need to stay home today."
This has got to be one of the biggest Blizzard-related events in the history of Blizzard. This is huge in terms of reach.
And it's coming right off of the Overwatch launch, which means that like the whole company is having to pivot super fast to be able to support it, and a lot of resources. I say resources, what I really mean is the time that people have been able to spend on stuff. Like they've been spending it all on Overwatch, and rightly so, because that's our product that just launched. Yeah. So you should probably be putting time behind that.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of turned into, okay, Overwatch launch. Whew. Wait, shit, we've got this event in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's shit after that. Like I guess we're launching a WoW expansion sometime this year
God.
as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Months,
I don't
few
know
months.
who decided we needed to do a movie launch, an expansion launch, and a BlizzCon, and all of the esports stuff, which I'm gonna be involved with as well. Like,
Of course you are.
yeah, because like we just announced the other day the North American esports program for the year for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And MLG is doing it, which is awesome.
Well, that makes sense because it's
Yeah.
MLG Blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Rant incoming.
Oh, sorry. Oh God, what'd I do? I just thought it made sense.
You know, like you former. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but you used to work at ZAM. I used to work at ZAM.
Of course.
We both know that ZAM is owned by Tencent Holdings.
Yes, we do.
We both know that Riot Games is owned by Tencent Holdings.
Yes. Yep.
We both know the gigantic hoops that had to be jumped through for ZAM to do anything with Riot Games.
Oh God, Jesus. Yes.
Yeah. So just because like Blizzard's head guy and MLG's head guy both report to somebody somewhere in the organization that's called Activision Blizzard, that doesn't mean that it's like, oh yeah, just come on by, just show up and we'll have an esports. It'll be
easy.
great.
Just do it.
No,
That is
we
true.
Still have to go. We still have to go through all the same exact process that everybody else has to go through.
that
we
is
had to
true.
convince MLG that it was worth their time, etc. So, like,
And what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, it wouldn't make sense for them to go with anybody else.
well, you say that. There were other options.
That would be okay. So that would be embarrassing. Knowing how complicated it can be to go through even companies that are sister companies. Which you're right. It's complete misnomer. People think, oh yeah, like aren't you guys owned by the same company? Just go talk to Riot. It's like, yeah, dude, that doesn't fucking happen. Like ever. That would not
Yeah,
work.
I don't want to explain too much because I don't know how much I'm really supposed to talk about.
Right. That's fine.
But they're like the way the process works is we go to multiple different vendors, and MLG was just one of those vendors, and we say, hey guys, this is what we want to do this year. Tell us how much you want us to pay you to do this. Tell us what you'll need from us to be able to do it, et cetera, et cetera. MLG just came back with the best offer. So, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Like the offer that
all
everybody
right,
agreed on
fine.
the most.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so legit, there is absolutely zero benefit to MLG being owned by Activision Blizzard here. None whatsoever. If anything, it made it a little bit weird because there was a whole bunch of, wait, so who should we talk to about this?
I could see that.
Are there any additional hoops we have to jump through, sort of thing? But yeah, no. So the reason I brought that up and got sidetracked with this whole rant,
Yeah, jeez.
is just that. So those start in June. There's another thing happening soon that I don't know. We're gonna announce it at some point. I don't know when it's gonna be, but there's another thing that I'm gonna be involved with, which isn't anything super exciting. So, Digi-Who, but yeah, basically the next several months of my life are just one thing after another. And also sometimes I have to figure out how to make videos for YouTube sometime in all of this.
What? You already know how to do that part.
Oh, I know how to do that. I have to figure out when. Like,
Right,
when am I
okay,
actually
sure.
going to have time to sit at my desk
Sure,
and make a video?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you need to get your shit together, Josh. Like you obviously, yeah. You need to work on getting your shit together because, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of getting my shit together, by which I mean speaking of things that I should really get around to, by which I mean speaking of things that shouldn't come as any surprise because they kind of need to happen, by which I mean speaking of... Fuck it.
What?
Speaking of Destiny announcing a thing soon.
I didn't even know what the fuck. Like, what? Yeah, yes. Destiny announcing a thing soon.
Yeah. So Bungie tweeted that they're going to have a reveal stream on the 9th. Blissfully not on top of anything I'm doing. Thank fuck.
It's the 9th. It's Thursday the 9th.
Yeah.
It's just in time for Digi-Who.
Yeah, that's true. It is just in time for Digi-Who. They said, save the date, follow our channel. This will be your first glimpse at what awaits you later on this year, followed by a deeper dive with the development team. So first of all, I just now realized how much I hate that second sentence. It will be your first glimpse at what awaits you later on this year, followed by your second glimpse, essentially.
Oh god, this is the over analytical community manager speaking right now.
This is
Like,
what I've become.
Don't promise one thing and then deliver something else. That's exactly what this is right here.
Yeah. This is what happens when you do this for a living. Is that you start to notice things like this and go, well, I wouldn't have said that phrase. I do it entirely. I do it all the time with our own stuff too. I just then don't rant about it. Because I just go to the person that wrote it and I'm, what the fuck did you do? But yeah, I actually have a weekly meeting in which I just yell at people. Well, I don't yell at people, but I have a weekly meeting in which I go, okay, these are the tweets that went out on mostly on Warcraft devs. I'm like, hey, so this one you should have done this one you should have done that. And I feel
So
bad.
are you like a jerk boss now or what?
I'm not a boss. I don't have any direct reports, but
right.
I'm just an asshole.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good.
A Blizzard asshole.
I feel like that's needed, you know?
Yeah. Someone has to be a jerk at Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well be me.
So,
anyway,
yeah.
so Bungie.
Yes.
Save the date, follow our channel. This will be your first glimpse at what awaits you later on this year, followed by a stupid sentence.
Can't fucking let it go, but go on, please.
So basically, what we're expecting out of this, what everyone in the entire universe is expecting out of this, is an expansion announcement.
Yeah.
I think at this point, anything less than an expansion announcement will just disappoint people. And
yes.
There's no way they don't have an expansion incoming for that September-October timeframe. There's a reason that they call it year 1 and year 2. Because there's going to be a year 3. They're
true.
purposefully building that expectation. So 100%, this is going to be an expansion announcement. It might be that, was it Rise of Iron, Tides of Iron, Iron Dicks?
Dicks
of Iron.
Yeah, the Iron Dicks expansion. Yeah, that's
yeah.
It. Mm-hmm.
Iron Bruce Banner.
For sure.
The Iron Hulk.
Yes.
So Destiny, the Iron Giant.
What the fuck? Yeah. Yes. Go on.
Yeah. It might be that. That was what people have been kind of speculating. The fact that they're willing to talk about something this soon does kind of lend a little bit more credence to those earlier quote-unquote leaks, because it means it's more likely that materials like that would have been distributed at this point.
Yes, true.
But also, people are really good at making shit up. Like, oh, there were 2 pictures, and we even talked about, oh, there's one picture that it's kind of at an angle, and then there's another picture that it's like the legit thing. And we even talked about it at the time. We were like, it's also possible that someone printed it out, took a picture, and then later decided to give it more credence. They were just going to say, oh, okay, now here's the real picture.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't know if it's going to be that at all, but what we are fairly confident of is that it's going to be a expansion announcement. And honestly, if they were to just announce a raid, people would riot. Like, I would love a raid. I would play a raid. I would absolutely boot up my 400 PS4s so that I could play a raid.
Like a fucking PS4 farm.
I would get the extra PS4 out of the closet. I'm lying. It's sitting right next to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I will be all over some raid in some PS4, in some Destiny.
Yes.
Even if it is just a raid, but people are expecting a lot more than that. They want new gear. They want to be able to level up again. They want some content in Destiny. And I've said before that I don't really mind the giant content gaps in Destiny, because I just like,
because you're
like
from Blizzard. No,
because I'm from Blizzard and so I'm used to it. No. Because, like, I will not make excuses for giant content gaps in
I'm sorry.
World
I
of
know.
Warcraft.
I just saw the opportunity. I had to strike. It just came out.
There is no 100% should have taken that shot. I would have taken that shot in your shoes. But for me talking about Destiny specifically, like, there's no monthly fee. There's no constant, like, I don't have to play the game. So when there's a gap in content in Destiny, I just don't play it, and I have no issue with that because I'm not continuing to pay for it.
Right.
When 100% feel like when someone is bored with World of Warcraft and they don't feel like playing it, then they should just not play it. Like, that's probably a dumb thing for me to say as a World of Warcraft community manager, but I 100% support the notion, personally at least, that if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully we can bring you back later. And that's kind of what I think Bungie is doing here is, okay, well, we're just going to have content gaps, and then people will play our expansions, and maybe they'll be done with it in a month again, but they'll have a month for playtime, and that'll be a good month. And I think that's a totally fine way to approach it. So I'm excited for this. You were saying earlier that you were going to sell your PS4, which makes me hate you.
I said, yeah, no, I didn't say I was going to sell it. I was like this for people who haven't already sold their PS4s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that does heavily imply that you're going to sell your PS4.
Yeah,
and I know you've been talking about selling your PS4.
I mean, it's mostly because like nothing has really come out, and I was just like, and then Destiny, Bungie had basically, it felt like from the Bungie camp we were getting, hey, we're probably not gonna really focus on large expansions and just focus on small stuff, and then they didn't deliver on the small stuff really. So it just kind of felt like it wasn't like we weren't gonna get anything else from Bungie. I thought that was it. I thought that what we already had with the 3 raids or whatever, like I thought that was pretty much all we were gonna get. So, but yeah, as much as I fucking hate that I have to play this game on the PS4 and all the bullshit I have to do to go through in order just to do it, like I have to just to stream it, right? To repatch it in.
Just learn to play with a controller.
No, it's not even that. It's like I have to like patch it through to through my my capture card and all that. It's just
buy another
like
PS4.
Oh my god!
Sit it on your desk. I legit have a PS4 sitting on my desk that I have not booted in probably 5 months.
Yeah. See, you're sitting on money right now, son. You're sitting on money.
I don't like.
No. It's
not
just
to brag or nothing, but I don't need the $50 I'd get for selling my PS4.
Yeah, and that's about what you'd get too, which sucks. But no. It's if it's an actual, I'm gonna watch the damn thing next week, obviously, right? I'm pretty sure that everybody who's watched this show since the beginning knows that much time was wasted talking about Bungie or about Destiny. Because we love the game so much.
Yeah.
And
this was Don't Get Your Ghosts Up for a while.
It was, actually, and nobody said anything, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, it is if they announce a new expansion, I'm going to be stoked. Like, with the raid and everything, I am totally in. I do miss that universe. I think they definitely set themselves up to build on a pretty fantastic universe and environment. And they have more to offer us in this version of Destiny. Whatever they bring down the line, Destiny 2 or whatever, that's fine then. But I feel like they have a great start. They could give us more in this iteration, and that's what I'm looking forward to getting from Bungie. And I'm pretty sure they're going to deliver. I'm still a God, how long now? Fucking A, more than 2 decade fanboy of fucking Bungie. I still have faith, even though probably no one that works there, that worked on fucking Pathways into Darkness or whatever, they're probably not there anymore. But still, I have faith that them as an entity can deliver on this product.
Or at this point, they're like so senior that they're not actually directly working on the games anymore.
Yeah, they're not doing shit.
Mike Morheim was a game designer at one point.
That's
he helped
true.
design games. Nowadays, he mostly does all the CEO shit that takes up the entire of his life because that's what CEOs do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I'm looking forward to the stream. I'm hoping that it's a raid. If it's a raid, I'm giddy, just like everybody else. And I'll dust my shit off. I'll dust my shit off, fine, and then we'll get the band back together, man.
Yeah, just in time for me to never be home again.
Oh God, oh no, I just thought of that too.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, that release date.
I don't think I'm going to Europe this year, so that'll be a weekend.
Oh, that's
I
good.
Get back.
That's good. That's good. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm having a second kid, so.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I'll still be able to organize my time around that, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably still be more available than you.
Probably.
So, So it's
Just put the kid in a box for a while. You'll be
yeah,
fine.
he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Number
Oh,
one
you should just
dad.
get him a PS4.
Yeah, that's a solution. But
So
yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna get together. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be great.
So speaking of other consoles you should buy, by which I mean speaking of other consoles that you might have been able to buy, except now you can't because it's been postponed to early 2017.
Womp womp.
So Nintendo has supposedly, obviously this has not been confirmed. This is all through quote unquote sources, but it's coming from this website called DigiTimes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
International paper or
Yeah.
blog,
yeah, I'm not super familiar with them, but they seem legit-ish. So
and they're not the only ones reporting it now.
yeah, most of the people that are reporting it are saying that DigiTimes has reported it though. So
Yeah.
but anyway, the Nintendo NX, which stands for I don't know,
Next, maybe I don't know.
just stands for NEX.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't put it past them. Next Extremity, because they had Wii last time, and then Wii U. So NX is going to be the next extremity. Anyway, so the Nintendo NX has apparently been postponed to early 2017 for two reasons. One is that they want to expand the sort of handheld console back and forth thing that's reportedly a part of it. Like we were talking before, kind of how the Wii U has the gamepad, which has the screen on it.
Oh yeah,
They're theoretically just kind of taking that concept and just making the console be the thing. Oh god, everything just broke.
Oh,
Okay, I think I'm okay.
oh god,
Are you still there? Oh, no,
I lost
Skype
him.
is broken. Hello? Hello?
Hey,
Can you hear
what
me?
happened? Oh Jesus, Nintendo DMCA'd us already live. What the hell? That was fast. I'm impressed.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna figure this out. I think Skype just broke entirely.
So
do 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 do.
what the hell just happened?
Let me see if I can get back into
Do do
that.
do. All right, so we lost Josh.
Hello?
Hello.
Skype just gave up on life.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah. Just completely up and decided it had nothing else to say about life.
Okay.
So
Welcome
anyway,
back.
Welcome back. Yeah.
I thought we
thanks.
were being DMCA'd live right now on air by Nintendo, but it didn't happen. I'm disappointed. That would have been a much better story.
Yeah. I hope that you just overlay both of us just talking as we're like going, oh, what's happening? Oh, things are breaking. What's going on? Oh, I lost him.
That's right. I forget that your side's gonna be totally different.
Yeah, I recorded everything still on my side.
That's gonna be great.
Anyway, so you're talking about the Nintendo NX, and we were
Yes.
sort of talking about how like our theory, or at least my theory anyway, is that they're going to try and sort of take the Wii U gamepad thing to the next level and have that be the actual console that you can take around with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a fully featured console that you can have be your home console, but you can also just pick it up and wander around with it.
Yeah.
They apparently want to enhance that. Maybe they listened to our show and they were like, "Holy shit, that's a good idea." Except they would say that in Japanese.
I hope so.
Yeah. But also, and this is the one that makes me groan in every possible way. They also want to add virtual reality functions into the system.
It's a painful pill to swallow, isn't it?
So Nintendo doesn't have the best VR track record.
You can't bring up the fucking Virtual Boy. Are you serious?
So their last outing into VR actually damaged people's eyes. Actually caused people physical harm. Virtual reality causing people physical harm. Let's just think about that for a second. But also, like, for the past, 8 years or so, 8+ years, basically since, actually even including the GameCube, but it wasn't as pronounced with the GameCube, but Nintendo's consoles have always been well behind the competitors in terms of actual like capabilities. Like
Right.
the GameCube was not as strong of a console. It didn't have as good in terms of hardware as the Xbox, the original Xbox, or
Right.
the PS. What was it, 2 at the time? Yeah, the PS2. It just wasn't as good of a console. Games were still fine, and most games still came out for it because at the time Nintendo was still a major player, and so people still bought the GameCube, and the controller was actually pretty good and it was interesting. So like the GameCube did all right, but then the Wii came along, and people were like, "Why the fuck would I? No, this is bad. I don't want this." It was super popular with grandmothers, but otherwise, grandmothers
The
and
Wii
5-year-olds.
or the Wii U?
The Wii came along, and it was really popular as that sort of like, hey, everybody's getting into gaming now. But it was mostly gimmicky stuff that it was really, really popular with. It still did well.
Yeah, I was gonna say it still did well ultimately.
Yeah, but it did well because of its gimmick and not because of its hardware.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've always been behind on hardware. Like that's
Yeah.
just their thing. They've always been a step behind, I think.
The Nintendo 64 was a step up from the PlayStation, if I remember correctly. Because the
Was
PlayStation
it?
was a 32-bit system, and the 64 was obviously a 64-bit system.
Oh yeah, but I don't feel like they really like utilize that as well as they could. Have.
Yeah, you might be right. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think there was some other stuff going on there because thinking back, like
There's plenty of games on the original PS1 that were way
Yeah.
better graphic fidelity.
like thinking about stuff like
yeah.
Final Fantasy IX looked amazing compared to anything that was on the 64.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll take that one back. So since the SNES, which was a little bit better than the Genesis, I think it was I'm pretty sure the Super Nintendo was a little bit better than the Genesis, and that was its only real competition at the time. Since then, Nintendo's always been kind of behind in hardware, and
Yeah.
hardware is so fucking important for VR. So if they are delaying production of this thing because they want to add virtual reality function, that can go two directions. Either they're delaying it to add VR function because they need to beef up the system for it to work, which could be good because then it means they're coming out with an actual legit system, or it means they're going to add VR function, which sucks, and the whole thing's going to tank. So those are my fears.
Yeah. No, and it's true. And as someone who did run I did have a Oculus for a while.
But then it left.
Yeah, then it left. Yeah, I was borrowing it, but it definitely on games that were not well optimized. Which games that are not optimized is kind of a simulation of if your computer was shittier, right?
Right.
Man, it makes a difference. If a game is not well optimized, or if the game is just basically not up to the hardware is up to par, you feel it. Like you really, really do feel it, and you end
Yeah.
up getting motion sickness and more easily, and it just doesn't nothing. You can't really get into the immersion. The immersion factor is like the most important part of VR. Otherwise, why do it?
Yeah.
And so if Nintendo can't deliver on the hardware aspect of it, then there's literally no point in going any other way. I mean,
Yeah.
they could kind of toy around. Here's what they could toy around with. They could totally toy around with fidelity. And right now, the biggest thing in gaming, the hottest trend, is low poly. And low poly is great because it's not intensive at all.
Yeah.
It's called fucking low poly.
Yeah.
So if Nintendo kind of goes the route,
It's basically like the 8-bit trend that we had 2 or 3 years ago.
yes,
Has now advanced by 5 years.
that's exactly yeah. We're totally just doing everything over again. It's just like
Yeah.
clothing styles.
Yeah, exactly.
And so with low poly, which would basically be Nintendo 64 style graphics. Imagine if you could take Nintendo 64 style graphics, and get full 60 or 120 hertz, like just basically a full motion responsiveness and refresh rate in a VR headset, and play some of these play those style of games. That would work, because it's not so much that the graphics are realistic. It's that the refresh rate and obviously some of the other technicals of the FOV and whatnot but as long as the technical stuff is solid, you could throw me in any environment you fucking want, and Nintendo could just basically figure out a way to deliver a product or a style very similar to an N64 style, and just deliver on the hardware side, and it would work, and it wouldn't require the same, like, the demands of a VR system that is supported by a PC is insane, because why? The photorealistic graphics that we're playing on some of these games. Yes, we require a very powerful system to push that, but Nintendo could go a different direction. It could totally work. I mean, the Virtual Boy really was super shitty because of the hardware that it was trying to push.
Yeah.
The graphics were terrible, and the hardware was not up to par. But if the hardware was up to par, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad, even if it was just like red and black, you know?
Yeah.
It could have worked.
Yeah, and I guess sort of the other thing to think about here is the NX only has, because the PS4, the current existing PS4, there's obviously the 4.5 or whatever that's coming along, theoretically anyway. We're expecting that announcement at E3.
Mm-hmm.
But the current PS4, Sony has been insisting that it will maintain 60 frames per second VR. Was it 60 or 30? No, it was 60 frames per second VR, or they will not certify games for it.
Right. Good on them too.
Yeah, and that's fucking awesome. But that also means we know that the PS4, the currently existing PS4 that's been out for what, 2 years now, 3 years now, something like that. Mm-hmm. I think 3 years now. We know that it's capable of high quality VR, or at least quality that's good enough for a company like Sony. All the Nintendo NX has to do then is be as good as a 3-year-old system. And if this was Microsoft, I'd be like, oh yeah, no problem. They're going to be totally fine. If fucking Sega came back, I'd be like, yeah, good on them. They'll totally be able to pull that off. This is Nintendo. So I'm going to be like, as good as a 3-year-old system.
And, you know, and to be fair, too, we also have a lot of history with Nintendo. I mean, it was one of the first, you know, like, commercially successful consoles.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I'm sure you had one.
Yep.
And I had one too. And all my friends had one.
Yeah. I had a Mattel Intellivision.
No, we talked about that. Yeah, so did I.
And an Atari 2600 until rats got into it.
Yeah. Oh God. and frankly, the Intellivision sucked. The Nintendo was the first one to come along with a controller that didn't suck really.
Yeah. Even the 2600, like, it was a joystick and a button.
No, because it was a joystick, a button, and then you could put on the stupid paddles, and then there was just like, it was like, make up your mind.
The Intellivision looked like you were gonna make a phone call.
Yeah,
it's like, exactly. why is there a dial pad on my game console?
Yep, exactly.
But at the time, no one knew any better. So you had those fucking little plastic, like, slidey things that you were supposed to slide into, because the numbers were just at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and then, like, legit looked like a telephone dial pad. And then they had the little plastic things that you were supposed to slide into the controller so that then the buttons would say things like fire cannon, turn right, and so on. But those fucking things, always, 100% of the time, the edges of them would get bent, and then they would not go in the fucking controller.
No, that's true. Yeah, that thing, you had to slide it through the top, and it was really, really picky.
I don't know how they made it so poorly.
God, you know, I mean, I wish I could collect those things, because I loved those as like a collector's thing.
Oh yeah,
it's like, these are the, like, especially unbent. It's like a trading card. If you get a trading card that's got a lot of, you know, money behind it, it's like, oh, this is a lot of value here. You bend it and that value is gone. Man, I would love, this is total fucking tangent, but I would love to get my hands on some Intellivision cards.
I'm gonna search eBay right now.
Do it.
I'm searching.
Here we go.
All right. I can get an Intellivision 2 for $100.
100.
Whoa! Original Mattel Intellivision video game system plus 36 games. Whoa! Look at this.
And see, like, I feel like if I looked at this link, I would seriously contemplate buying it, knowing damn well, one, I would never use it. Yeah. It would just sit there. And two, I already have all those games on ROMs. Because because I
Oh my
have it in
God.
television fucking emulator.
It has such. Remember when games were called things like tennis?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All the old games were called like literally what they are.
Yeah, I had a box of like ancient like 286 PC game. It just said Jet on it.
That's okay. That's quitters right there, man. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Also, this is $479.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass on those.
Yeah, apparently you can get a hold of some Intellivision stuff.
I'm sure. Oh,
On
till the end of
eBay.
time. I'm certain you
Yeah.
can.
A lot of 12 Intellivision games tested but sold as is. Boxes are pretty worn, but the instructions and overlays are in good condition. Oh man, this is only $15. That's what I need. Liv would love that. I'll just get more shit to sit around. I already have like in the living room.
Are you
Not
the
even- not
collector?
even- Oh god.
She seems so practical. Like, I mean, she just as a person, she seems so practical. Like, she just has no stock in anything that's old. Kind of like
yeah.
my wife's the same way. She's
Yeah.
like, if it's old, get rid of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
but there's sentimental value. She's like, what does that even mean? Get out.
Yeah. Why do you own this still?
Why
yeah.
do you? Yeah. Why do you have this?
Yeah, I have a. It's not even the original Sega Genesis. It's like one that they made when they were like, let's make this cheaper somehow. But I have the original Sega Genesis box that I keep it in. That's just sitting in the living room.
Oh man.
And the
Yeah.
reason I have that is because in my head I think of having conversations like this and I want to be able to say that I have it.
That is true.
Yeah.
And so
I'm never gonna hook that thing up.
I have
never
all the
gonna happen.
boxes in the garage for all the shit that I have. Like, I don't know why. It's so dumb. I don't fucking need. I really, 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 really don't need the boxes for my 580 Ti or whatever the fuck it is. Right?
Yeah.
I don't need those anymore. I call it resale value, right? But I never fucking sell anything. I never. Why? Because it's like, yeah, if it's on eBay, you know, it's like the eBay fees are gonna take all your money anyways. You're not gonna make any money off of it. You know, and it's like after shipping and everything, yeah, it's not gonna make any money. And it's like, and I end up never fucking selling anything, and that's why my studio is such a fucking mess. I'm looking around right now as I say it. It's like it's such a mess because I keep shit. I fucking keep shit.
I have sitting in front of me right now. I have the cloth map from. Hang on, let me find out which expansion this was by looking at the map. Oh, this would have been classic. Wait, yeah, the original World of Warcraft vanilla cloth map that came in the collector's edition. It's just sitting in front of me for some reason. I have multiple Rubik's cubes, but they're just cool. I have a copy of World of Warcraft, the role-playing game.
Oh God.
I have a Dungeons and Dragons version of Warcraft, the role-playing game. I think they're actually different games entirely. I have Warcraft, the RPG, Magic and Mayhem. That's a D20 system version. I think that I have source books for 3 different versions of a Warcraft pen and paper game.
What?
Sitting in front of me. I have a book about Thrall, and I have a book about Garrosh.
Mm-hmm.
And just generally around me a whole bunch of... Wait, what's this? Hang on. Oh, shit. I just found a cloth map for Neverwinter. Neverwinter Nights is what this came in. The original Neverwinter Nights. Why do I have this?
All right, so I'm gonna.
Please tell me why I have this.
I don't think I can one up you necessarily, but I do have a thing here that I don't use that's just sitting here that has a lot of value behind it, and that is very quickly losing value. Actually, it is a Razer laptop, gaming laptop, which you automatically know costs at least $1,500.
Yeah.
That I got for free at some stupid event, and I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this laptop?" And it just sits here. It's just I'm looking at it right now. It's just fucking sitting there, not doing anything. And I think I have the box and everything. It's in great condition because it's never been used. And it's like I should just sell it, but no, it just fucking sits there. right next to the individual stupid fucking portrait scanner thing that you put a picture in, and you slide it in, and it takes a picture of the picture, which I didn't know at the time, but that's super shitty because then you can see the reflection of the camera inside the little box taking the picture. It's so dumb. Thing that I bought, and it's sitting right there on top of its box, of course. Why do I keep all this shit?
Nice. When we moved most recently, I probably threw away 80 cables that I was just hanging on to in case I needed that specific cable.
Cables are the worst.
I haven't needed any of those.
Yep. Nope, you never do. I have no. Oh my god, I have so many FireWire cables. Like, why? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I have an open copy of World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor. So
that's not worth anything.
Yeah. It's not even a collector's edition. It's just
it's just a regular.
It's just a regular box. I don't think I have any of the goodies I think I've already managed to pull out all of the goodies that were with it.
Yeah.
Like the free Hearthstone packs and stuff. Yeah. What? Why are there... What? Oh, there's 4 different discs in here. That's what that is. Yeah. Why do I have this? Why have I not thrown this away? Because it's cool, all right?
Because it's cool. It's something I'm just gonna hold on to it just in case. Fucking what? There's never gonna be like some ethereal being that comes down and it's like, I will take your life unless you give me that fucking box, right? Like unless some random thing and you're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I kept this for all these years. I can now live to see another day. Here, ethereal being, here's my open box of World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. It's just the retail. It's not the collector's edition. And he's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then that's it. You live. Like there's no reason to keep that shit, but we do. We do it anyways.
Yep. Because we're nerds.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What are we talking about?
Fucking Nintendo.
We started out with see Nintendo. What the fuck? See what you do to us?
Yeah.
God damn it.
So anyway, yeah, I think we're good.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
All right.
I just found a picture of me when I was like 15 at the launch party for Descent 3.
Oh, wow, that game sucked. But whoa.
Yeah, it is not a good picture of me. I am literally unrecognizable in this picture. I'll tweet it in a minute.
Why? Because no hair?
Oh,
man.
I looked very different. God, Jesus fucking Christ. That was
Please.
17 years ago.
Please tweet it right now.
I'll tweet it in a minute.
Okay, in a minute, whatever. Are we out of things?
I think we're out of things. I mean, we could talk about these, but
they were out of things.
yeah, I don't care.
Good show, man.
Yeah, we did it. We did the show. We did the thing. We successfully GG'd the YHU.
We did.
We digied the Who.
We did you the Who.
Digied right in the Who.
When you say it like that.
Yeah, I'm a digi that Who.